Hi guys, welcome back. I wanted to start this video by saying a huge thank you to every single one of you who sent me a message, left me a comment, or just took some time out of your busy lives to be supportive and be there for me on my last video. It was probably the most difficult video that I've ever done. I'll leave it linked below if you haven't seen it yet. And the most vulnerable that I've ever been in front of anyone in my real life, in my online life, people that I trust and care about. I don't think I've ever felt that vulnerable in front of anyone. And it seems a weird thing to put yourself on the internet when you're feeling your most vulnerable. But I feel like that's what I needed in order to change something that's not making me happy and something that's causing me to not feel like myself anymore. So thank you very, very much for all your support. You will never know how much it means to me, but I hope that you know that I care and that I've read every single one of your comments and messages, and I'm trying my best to get back to all of you. There are a few comments that I haven't got back to yet, so please bear with me. I will get back to every single one of you. And today's video, I feel like it's kind of my first step towards leaving. This is what I'm trying to stop myself from doing. Usually I would just refilm this segment because I mispronounced a word and I would feel like this was like an imperfect segment of my video that doesn't belong here, but I'm gonna try and stop myself from thinking like that. So as I was saying, today's video is my first step towards living a life that I deserve and that I feel proud of for myself. Not for anyone else, but for myself. And I'm going to share with you 5 things that I have started doing, some of them for quite a while, but a few that I've started doing since making that video to get myself back, to make myself feel better, to look after myself or mother myself. How many times, if you're a mum, do you feel like you mother everybody else? You look after the kids, you make sure that they've got sun cream on, that they have drunk their water, that they're fed, they're showered, their pants and socks are clean. But how often do we do that to ourselves? And I feel like I don't do that enough to myself. Sometimes the kids are on their 4th pint of water and I haven't even drunk a single glass of water. So I'm making a real effort to look after myself as well, and I feel like when I do that I'm a lot more in tune with who I am and who I want to be, instead of striving to be this ideal perfect mum whose children are all dressed and pressed and well looked after, but behind these perfect children is this mum who's stressed, tired, exhausted, scraggly, hasn't washed her hair in 7 days. So yeah, this is a little step towards becoming a better version of myself, and a version that I'm a lot happier with and more proud of. And I hope you guys find this video interesting. If you have your very own things that you do to mother yourself, to look after yourself and get yourself back, then please leave them on the comments below. I'm only going to share 5 with you because I feel like I'm getting back into the swing of videos. I don't know why, but the last video felt like a milestone for me. It felt like the end of something and the beginning of something else, and it just didn't feel right for me to pretend like I hadn't made that video and do a video on a completely different subject or topic, when what's on my mind at the moment, the focus of my life is on this journey that I'm on, or in, I don't know, on, in, I don't know. So yeah, the first thing, and it sounds very, very vain and mundane, and the first thing that I have been doing to feel like myself again is to paint my nails. And I'll tell you a funny story. I stopped painting my nails 3.5 years ago because when I had James, he was in NICU, intensive care, for a few days. He was born really small and he needed a bit of extra care, and he couldn't like suck a dummy properly, and the nurses told us, well, he might like sucking on your little finger to feel, you know, that comfort when he's not feeding. And I just felt like I can't put any chemicals in his mouth, so I took all my nail varnish off and everything and just had clean hands the moment that I had him. And then, you know, babies are teething all the time, and you just put your hands in their mouth to soothe any kind of, you know, teething problems. And just having a baby in general, you're constantly needing your hands to be germ-free and clean and chemical-free. And I just felt like I'm not going to paint my nails because they just need to be accessible and ready. So this is a really long story to say that I haven't painted my nails since I had kids because it just felt like my hands weren't my own anymore and they were needed for lots of other things. And then they kind of grew up a little bit. My youngest is 1.5 now, and I don't need to put my hands in their mouths for a lot of things. And I've grown in confidence as well as a mum, and just, yeah, changed a little bit. And then painting my nails was always something that I enjoy doing. It makes me feel a little bit more put together, and it might not be that important for other people. When I see my nails painted, I just, you know, you feel that kind of extra smilier, and anything that makes you feel like that is worth doing for your own self-improvement. So I've started painting my nails again. That's one thing that I've done for myself, because that's not for anyone else, that is just for me. And I kind of enjoy the ritual of painting my nails as well, and choosing the nail varnish and getting all the bits and bobs and, you know, grooming and everything, and watching something nice on telly. So yeah, that's something that I've been doing to improve myself and make me feel like more like myself. The second thing that I've done for myself is that I've started running, and it's been a few months now. It's not something very, very recent. I've documented a little bit about my running here on my channel and also on my Instagram, but it's changed my life in a way. It's given me so much more peace of mind and headspace, and it's decluttering my mind. When I go running, I just feel like this is something that I'm doing for me, and I can feel the benefits the moment that I step out of the house. The fresh air, the you know, just the quietness and being in silence and doing something that I want to do for myself is amazing. And then I get home and I feel calmer. I feel happy because I'm doing something positive for my life and for my body, and I can see my body changing, and I see myself changing as well. So any kind of exercise, I feel like, has that power to change you, to make you feel better about yourself. But running has done that for me. The third thing sounds a little bit silly, but it's definitely made a difference in my mood in the daytime. And it's to play the music that I want to listen to, even when the kids are around. Usually I would just put anything on that the kids would enjoy, nursery rhymes, Peppa Pig, any kind of child-friendly music like Disney, Moana stuff, which I enjoy as well, but I wouldn't necessarily choose to listen to that, just to keep them happy. And if they're happy, I'm happy. That's always been my mantra. But I feel like that's a little bit of a cop-out to say that, because obviously we're happy if our children are happy, but can we be a little bit happier doing something that we want to do but our children are not necessarily going to enjoy as much? So playing music that I enjoy, listening to Jason Mraz, to McFly, listening to musicals that I enjoy like The Phantom of the Opera and Brazilian music in the daytime has made me feel so much happier. It's just that little bit of me, that little bit of this is my thing. And the kids don't actually mind. I thought that they would mind a lot more, that they would grumble and they would ask for their own stuff to be played. And I found that they actually enjoy it and they dance along to it, which makes me even happier. So if I hadn't tried that, I wouldn't have known that extra happiness that I could have, instead of just the happiness of seeing them happy. So yeah, playing my own music in the daytime and just enjoying, you know, that little bit of escapism and thinking about lyrics, which I love. So yeah, that's the third thing. The fourth thing that I've stopped doing is working in the evenings. And obviously that's a general rule. Some days I need to catch up with work, especially if we've been out for the day or something like that. I am self-employed and I work from home, so inevitably there are days when I need to work in the evenings. But I've made a rule of stopping that for the most part, because what I was doing was I was trying to be there for everyone and to do everything in the day and then do all my work in the evening. And then I was never getting any time to switch off and just be me and do the things that I want to do and spend time with my husband and watch the TV programs that I want to watch, or just chill out and do nothing. I wasn't getting that time, and I know that that is not something that everybody can do, but we've been able to work out a schedule for me to work in the day and then have my evenings free. And that's worked wonders for us, especially for me. The feeling that I get when I've put the kids to bed and I know that I can relax in the evening is amazing. As before, it would be more like a rush, get the kids in bed, get my work done, and then maybe I'll have a spare 20 minutes before one of the kids wake or I have to go to bed. So it never felt relaxing, and I always felt guilty for doing anything in the evening that would take up a big chunk of my time. So trying to make that effort to not do any work in the evening might not seem like much, but to me it's made a huge difference. And I bet you, if you work from home or if you have, like, you're self-employed and you make your own hours, if you stop working in the evenings and try and make a rule out of it, you'll feel so much better for having that time for yourself. And the last thing that I've done is something quite recent, and it's to allow myself to zone out when I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm one of those people that feels really guilty if I'm not giving the person that I'm talking to 100% of my attention, and that goes for my kids as well. And we all know that kids can be a little bit too much to handle. They always have something to say, and the more you give them, the more they want from you, which is lovely and beautiful. And I'm sure I'm gonna miss those days when my kids just don't want to talk to me anymore. But it can also feel a little bit too much sometimes, especially when the endless list of things that they want to do and talk about, that they need and they want, never stop. And I feel like it's not my kids that are overwhelming, it's me. I overwhelm myself with the expectations that I put on myself to talk back to them and to reply every time they ask me a question and to say something back and to praise them and talk to them and teach them and be their everything all the time. And we can't be their everything all the time. We physically can't. And by allowing myself to zone out, sometimes when I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed, by zoning out, I mean just ignoring the noise and the chaos. If they're safe and they're happy and they're healthy, I allow myself to zone out for a minute or two, and then I go back and I do everything they want me to do, or as much as I can. But just those couple of minutes of, I will not answer any questions, I will not mediate any arguments for a couple of minutes, have done wonders for me. So that's something I've been doing recently, and I feel like it kind of diffuses my mind a little bit and it stops me from feeling overwhelmed and snappy. So these are 5 things that I've been doing recently to look after myself more physically, mentally, and just get myself back to feel less overwhelmed, feel a bit happier and less stressed. I hope you found this video interesting or helpful. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends if you feel like they might enjoy it. If you enjoy watching my videos, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel. It's free and you get a notification when there's a new video from me. I post new videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays at 7 p.m. And on Mondays, I have a series called Mindful Motherhood here on my channel. So please join me for that at 7 p.m. on Mondays. I hope you're all doing well, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!